first we got to do a little recap. Last session. What happened last session? Y'all started from falling from the sky after Faku tried to kill you all because
Failed, by the way. Failed.
yeah, definitely failed. Tried to kill you all because she hated Vita, calling
Oh, bitch.
him Zell Gradris. And you all fell, turned into a meteor at the very end, thanks to Felix, and you all woke up, seemingly like 2 days later, in a jail cell of sorts, kind of the small stone room that you see before you. And essentially, after after Chief Holm came down, this kind of tallish dwarf guy who seemed very exasperated and fucking tired, tried to figure out what was happening. Y'all had a conversation. Eventually, y'all intimidated him to get out of the cell, and now you all are sitting at the table. Rayladin is kind of standing there, just talking to you all. As Chief Holm goes and relays all this information to Mother Donipin, who is the head priest of a local Visir temple, who is the goddess of sands, who Felix had a dream with Visir, saying that
He's gonna kick
she
the
was
shit
going,
out of me.
yeah, she was going to disintegrate you, which is, or erode you. That's fine. And then talk to Mother Donipin and also Mrs. Viatal, who is the leader of this little hamlet that you all are in, named Lasta. So, you all are, Rayladin is kind of talking to you all, just asked you, Vita, about your eye, and Felix is like, hey, that's a little insensitive, you know. We don't talk about your eye, dude. We don't do that. And Rayladin apologized for that. He's been around, didn't realize. And at this conversation, would you all like to say anything to Rayladin? He's about to say something, but you all have the floor first. I'll give you it.
Um,
I'm good.
I just want to say before this gets any further, now that you've let us out, my name is actually Vita. When Felix called me Vita earlier, that's actually my name.
Oh, so you
I
are
was just,
Vida instead
I
of
was just
Alden?
afraid. Yeah,
Oh,
I gave a pseudonym.
oh well, there's no
Yeah.
trouble there. I understand. I have used fake names before in such situations.
But not now, right?
No. My name is Rayladin.
Can I
That is
do it?
not.
Can I do a little deception check then?
Sure. Are you like a little perception check for me?
Or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah.
You're not the
Yeah.
one deceiving. Unless, unless,
Unless,
unless there's a whole
unless
other meaning to that
you
question that I
you
don't
you do now also have another name.
know.
Yeah, give me a
I want to
perception
trick
check.
him to thinking that's an honest name.
I want to lie to him to. I want
Oh,
to trick him
20.
to convince him that my real name.
He it looks like he's telling the truth. He's just like
Alright.
he seems very chillax.
Alright.
Just be like, I am Rayleigh.
Okay.
He kind of squints his eyes and he looks over at you, Turlon. He says, Prestel, you were talking about your uh, card readings, yes?
Yes, yes, it was, yes.
I was wondering if I could talk to you in private for just a second. It's something that deals with that's personal to me, if you all don't mind. And he kind of looks to you, Vita, and Felix.
Are we just supposed to walk outside or what?
That's okay. That's okay with me.
It is not a serious conversation.
That's
just
fine.
over
I
in the
am
corner.
going to stroll over though as he says that.
I'm gonna sit on the
Can
other
you
end of the
unpause so
table.
I can? Can you unpause so I can move?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
on
I can
pause too.
move. I'm gonna sort of like walk over past Vita while they're starting to walk out, and I'll look at him, and I will say just very quietly. I'm not really trying to hide it. I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's clear. It's gonna be obvious that I'm talking to him,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not trying to I'm trying to be very quiet. I'll say in Elvish. I will say, leave the bird in here. watch for me. I'm gonna nod at him.
If you all start like walking out, Raylan will be like, "Oh, please don't leave. It's not that
Oh.
serious. It's just
Alright.
just a little bit of privacy. This is a
We'll
big
go over
room.
here.
Like this is
Stay
like
over here.
it's like a 40, 50 foot wide room. So it's kind of just this bigger room.
I'm gonna walk over here.
Yeah,
then.
say we
I'm
go
gonna
over here.
kind of slouch against the wall,
Okay.
cross my arms, look at him expectantly.
Yes. And once you all we'll kind of do this conversation, and then Vita, Felix, if you want to have a conversation, you can, but we'll do this conversation first. Rayla will kind of walk over to you and kind of whisper to you underneath your voice, and I will say, before I start this, Vita or Felix, are either of you trying to listen to the conversation, or are you just chilling or vibing?
Nope.
I'm fine.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Staying in
Rayla
my lane.
Don't give a shit.
I'm just vibing, dude.
Mm-mm.
Rayladon will kind of whisper to you, Turlon, and will say, I want you to know that I know of the mark that is on your arm, and know that I do not judge you for it. I am in a very similar line of work, but I ask out of curiosity alone. Why do you hide it from them? Are they your targets?
This fucker.
This
idiot.
motherfucker.
Hate this guy. Hate this
Good thing
guy.
we're not listening. Damn.
Yeah, no kidding. So I will kind of I'm gonna roll a deception check. Turlon is
He said not that serious.
Turlon is shitting bricks.
He was
I'm trying to hide it.
He was lying his little
Oh my god,
fucking...
not one. Hero point.
No,
Hero
I
point.
hate hero points.
You only get one per session, bud.
Every time. I want that one.
Okay, that's better.
I wanted that one.
Fucking.
Okay, I used my hero point on my first roll. I'm a little bitch boy. I say Turlon shitting bricks. I just kind of like stiffen my face, try to like focus really hard on holding it steady to kind of fight the natural urge to look panicked.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say under my breath again, but I'm not gonna speak under my voice, but Turlon is, and they will say, "No, they're not my targets. I'm in a very difficult situation. I've been put in a very difficult situation, and for complicated reasons, hiding is of the most paramount importance for me. I cannot let them know. I cannot let anyone know. And they're gonna like hedge their voice from one criminal to another. I can't have any of them knowing, and I really wish you didn't know either." I'm just gonna kind of wave my hands, but that is that. I need to stay hidden, no matter what.
The whole
Happen.
time, yeah, the whole time you're saying this, Rayladon is just nodding along, listening to you, like not, his face, his face looks empathetic. I'll say that, and he will say, "I understand. I just wanted to know, so I'm going to propose to you something to you all, and I needed to know that information before going in."
I'm rolling a d20 real quick. Okay.
He's gonna propose.
I'm going to. I can't make waves right now, but affiliation could keep me safe. I'm just gonna kind of nod. Let me know if there's any work. You know the kind.
You
And then
see,
I'm going.
you see Rayladon smile, and he says, "Oh, there is work."
I'm fine. I'm normal. I'm fine. I'm normal.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna even tighter, close my close the cloak around my arms. Did I really hide it that badly?
Yes.
You said what?
did I really hide it that badly? Eyeing down towards the spot under my cloak where the marks are.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay. Rayladon says, "No, ever since you've been awake, you've hide it well, but you've just been unconscious for the past 2 days. I saw it."
Turlon will actually at that point just kind of like the stress kind of fade away. They just laugh a little bit. Yeah, yes, that's to be expected. It's all been a blur. Well, thank you. Now, it's best to keep cover. My cards.
Rayladon will say, "I understand," and then he'll kind of say a little bit louder than a whisper, but still as if he was whispering to you. He'll say as he starts walking away, says, "It is good to know that I could reach her if I needed to." And he will start to walk away. And as he's walking back, he will say to both you and Vita and Felix, he'll say, "Thank you for giving us that privacy." And Vita and Felix, were you talking at all during this conversation? Or what were each of you doing, I'll say?
I just said, "God damn it."
Yeah.
Felix was miming. Vita was trying to figure out what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Vita's just gonna talk about how light his head feels. He's not wearing his hat. It's strange
Yeah.
how easily he can look around.
I know, I get that. It's like always a weird feeling. Had that when I
Well,
cut my hair one time.
oh, I was gonna say you don't wear a hat.
Yeah, well,
Doesn't make any sense. Okay, that's all we talk about.
we just gotta do that for like 2 minutes.
It's fucking ridiculous.
That kind of conversation.
This crazy conversation happening in the
I've never
corner.
taken my hat off ever.
Yeah.
It
Hopefully,
feels
no
weird.
secrets were shared.
No, no.
No, not at all.
Talks of how light your head feels without a hat on, were
Especially if
had.
it's so big and you don't wear it for the first
Yeah.
time in a long ass time.
You
Yeah,
should have
it's-
not told Kevin what we said.
Yeah, it was secret, dude. Why the fuck didn't you ask if that was okay? No,
Die.
seriously, what's wrong with you, dude?
Yeah.
You gotta watch back for the full experience. But Reelidin starts walking over and says, "Thank you for giving us your privacy."
Sure, man.
Thank you for giving us privacy.
What'd you guys talk about?
Says, "Oh, it is private to me, but I lost a close loved one, and I just wanted to see if it was possible to communicate them through the cards."
Difficult but doable.
Oh,
Steven, is that something that you can do? Would I know that?
Roll a what kind of fucking check would that be?
I also made a 20. I also did a 23 there for my deception check because that's a lie. Like not
Yes.
like that you could do it, but that we talked about it. So if your
Yes.
perception DC is higher than 23, or 23 or higher, or you are trying to fact check me, go for it.
See, what do I roll?
You roll.
I think you would roll like occultism for that. I think because my stuff is
I think
technically occultism.
Yeah, occultism.
If it were to see if I'm lying, that's just perception.
Doo-doo. Unfathomable L.
You don't know if that's possible, but seems like it may be possible, but
probably.
doable. Yeah, maybe. Do you all sit back down at the table?
I mean, I'm just gonna stay where I'm sitting. Like, there's no
Okay. Then
going back.
Rayladin is going to kind of walk over and he says, "Do you mind if I sit with you all?"
Sure.
Yeah, it's your chairs and tables.
So Rayladin will sit down.
Sure,
And-
I say. This looking at this long ass empty table with a ton of chairs. Yeah, man, you can sit with us.
There's a bunch of papers on it. I just forgot to put them on.
Sorry, the nerds and losers sit at the table across the hall. Sorry, this is
Exactly.
the cool kids table, if you will.
Yeah, we are all very cool. What do you do, Vita? Vita, do you sit down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do this.
Then Rayladen will say, well, you all, as Chief Holm is going back to tell everything to both Mrs. Viatal and Mother Donovan, I will tell you all something. I have not been in Lasta for very long, probably only about 50 days or so. But if I know anything, just to give you all a heads up of what is probably to come, with you all getting your stuff and things like that. Chief Holm, if the decision were up to him, I'm sure would want you all just to have your stuff and be out of here, which I'd imagine is what you all would like, yes?
Yes.
Yes,
Says,
within reason.
yes, but unfortunately, it is not up to him. It is up to Mrs. Viatal. The three of them are the ones that make kind of the decisions here in Lasta, but the final say is always down to Mrs. Viatal. But what they are probably discussing with Mother Donovan as well is that from everything I have seen of Mother Donovan, which is not much, she normally keeps to herself within the temple, but she came over while you all were unconscious and inspected some of your things and seemed very. I keep thinking of the word disdainful. Very unapproving of some of the items and the fact that you all are here. So I'd imagine that she does not have a high opinion of you all, especially if once she learns that you all, while inadvertently, uh, had the storm come over the Zaroon Dunes. And Mrs. Viatal, and I'd imagine, is somewhere in the middle of those two points of view. And unfortunately, I believe that she is kind of biased towards Mother Donovan whenever they have made decisions together, considering that they are related by blood. And so he kind of sits and he puts his elbows on the table, like he's kind of thinking about something. He says, now, from what I can guess, it may be a little while, or you may need to do some things to help out Lasta in order to get your things back. I personally think that is ridiculous. You all were brought here against your will. If it were, I am not entirely sure why those hunters brought you here as either. But if it were up to me, I either would have helped you while you were in the forest or not have put you in a cell. So, if that is something that you are not looking forward to, or not looking like you would like to do, I do have a proposition for you all that may be a way for you all to get your stuff earlier and get out of here much quicker. Are you all interested?
We'll take it. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Right,
gonna
then
kind of
See
give
what it
him
is
a
first.
knowing look and nod.
Railden says, ah, what I'm going to tell you three is some information about myself that I would like not to be shared with anyone else, and I trust you all to do that. Is this something that you are willing to do for me?
Yep.
Yes.
I'll give him a quiet nod.
Mm-hmm.
Railden kind of leans back in his chair and he says, I am part of an organization called the Vein Breakers. Have any of you heard of them?
Great question, Steven.
Vita, I'll say you have not heard of the Vein
Nope.
Breakers.
Never.
I passed that question on to God.
Felix, I would like for you to roll just a society check in general. And for you, Turlon, like you to roll a. Are they? There they
Holy shit.
are. I would like you to roll a society check as well. Is he stupid?
19 for me.
19. Felix, you have not heard of the Vein Breakers. Cool name though, but you have not heard of the Vein Breakers. Turlon, you have heard of the Vein Breakers. They are a very similar organization to one you've been a part of in the past. To say that they are rivals is kind of it's strong terms. It's more just they preside over a different region of Sumia. But I'll say with your 19, no one was really allowed to talk about the Vein Breakers, so you don't know much about them, but you do know that people have left your previous organization to join the Vein Breakers in hopes that it would be better.
Okay. I don't really visibly react to that information, given my deception check.
Doesn't sound like a very friendly group, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Rayladin,
I'm starting to think Force might rule the day around here.
Rayladin kind of nods his head and he says, I agree, the name is not very friendly, but we are an organization where there are people in this world that some would describe as either evil or take advantage of those less fortunate than them, and because of this, they are able to exploit others, sometimes harm others, murder others, and what the Vein Breakers do is we have contracts out for these people where we essentially learn about them, ensure that everything that is being said about them is true, and if it is sufficiently evil enough, then we take them out. Now, I am here in Losta. I am part of the Vein Breakers, and I am here in Losta not because I want to live here long term. I am here because there are two people in Losta that have a contract out for them. That contract is valued at 4,000 gold. And when he says this information, do any of you react to that? It's a lot of money. I'll just say that.
Deception check notwithstanding, if your perception DC is 22 or above, then or 23 or above, then you see me. You see me kind of like perk up at it. Steven, since it's kind of all into the open now.
Wait, sorry. I just realized my passive perception, my DC is 23.
Then you would see me react in a way based on how I ask Steven, which is, Steven, is that a good price for like? I know nothing about this guy, but knowing my background now that's kind of out in the open, is that a good price?
It's like 10 times more than you ever made on anything.
Yeah, I would say then I try to hide it. Like, I am visibly trying to hide it, but Felix would see me kind of like perk up. You see Turlon like kind of like perk up and look interested before they just kind of it's like over in like less than a second, a fraction of a second before they kind of realize they're reacting and they force themselves back down into the chair, try to play it off as like shrugging in their seat and like shifting around.
All right.
Yeah, and I'll say Vita and Felix, $4,000 or 4,000 gold is a lot.
I squirm a little bit. I don't know, because I don't really care about gold that much. Vita would probably say like, I don't know. I feel like I need to know a lot more about them before I'll just kill them. It just doesn't feel very nice to just.
Well, we would need to know the details. Yes, I mean for 4,000 gold pieces. I mean, surely there is a reason, and perhaps the most important question to me is not what they did to deserve the targeting, but who has the motive and the willingness to pay that kind of money?
Raylan is not
I know that is sometimes not allowed, not information not allowed to be known, but what is their motive?
Railden leans back and is nodding to all of your comments and says, I understand this. That is the nature of the business, is all, the devil is in the details. I don't know if there's a fucking devil in Sumia, but, he'd say something similar to that.
There has to be
Yeah,
devils.
there's,
Steven, you decide if there's a devil or not. Great
Literally,
news.
I know, but like the devils are in the detail.
There we go.
There you go. Fixed it. The devils are in the details. Now, I almost forgot what we were talking about. The devils are in the details. Now, before we talk about those details, though, I'd like to propose to you just what I am speaking on before I talk about the target, if that is okay.
I know.
Kind of looks to you all and he says, now, I am not in trying to fulfill this contract for the coin. If I complete this contract, or if this contract is completed, then I will get to move up in the ranks in the Vein Breakers. I will become a senior member. So that is the real reason why I am trying to fulfill it. So the coin means nothing to me. And so what I am proposing is if you help me in this, help me fulfill this contract, then not only will I get moved up in rank, you all can get paid quite handsomely, and if you all help me, I also have a way out of Lasta that does not involve traveling through the storm. We can get your things and get out of here quickly without anybody knowing, so you do not have to have the wrath of this hamlet upon you if you do not like. But you asked for the details, I shall give you some of the details. At least the details that I know. Now, the two targets are, in question, Mother Doniphan and Mrs. Viator, the two leaders of this hamlet. That is probably why there is such a hefty price on it. Now, originally what the contract was is that these two being the main decision makers within this town. Chief Home is more of an administrative, does more of the punishments and the law enforcement within the town, where the other two make more decisions throughout. From what I understand, it was a group of farmers within Lasta, about 12 of them, all of whom I have spoken with, that together pitched in the money for this contract. And the reason why they are all so upset is because a large chunk of their land was taken by the two of them without their permission in order to build a library within Lasta. Now, this was, or when they complained about it and when they tried to argue with Mother Doniphan and Mrs. Volital about beginning building on this land, they essentially threatened to take all of their land if they did not comply. And while these are just measly farmers within Vlasta, they were not able to individually fight back against that. So, what I believe is this, and he kind of leans back and he says, we have a saying within the Vein Breakers. It's kind of our motto. It is said that people do not kill for sport, and I truly believe this. There are very few people that just want someone dead, just out of hand, and especially to pay for someone to die is a hefty price to pay, and for a group of individuals to come together and put up 4,000 gold, which I'd imagine being just small farmers, is a lot of maybe their savings together to have these two be murdered. There must be a reason beyond just, oh, this person is this person maybe stole some land, if you find that too extreme. And so because of that, maybe that is the reason, but as I have been here, I have seen Mother Donipin, I have seen Mrs. Viatal, the way they have acted, and I believe that the farmers are in the right for having that price on the line. Now, you all are new here. You all are new here. You all do not have to believe me, but you can at least believe in if there's such a hefty price to be on their heads, then there must be something that they have done wrong to deserve such a price on their heads. And he kind of looks to you all, like expectingly.
I'm nodding.
And
I'm
who's
nodding. Turlon has gone from like a quiet sort of like recognition throughout this conversation to like a small but like steady, like confident like nod, like agreeing with most of what's said.
who were the two targets?
It is
Guys,
Mother
can you tell?
Donipin and Mrs. Viatal.
Okay, that's what I
Or
thought.
so Mother Donipin is the head priest of the Temple of Asir here, and Mrs. Viatal is the leader of Rasta, who makes all the decisions or the final decisions.
Perhaps we should take a moment to discuss this, if you don't mind.
Yes, and then he raises his hand. He says, "Yes, please, and you may all do it in Elvish if you would like. I did not speak it, so
I'm
you
going
are
to
fully private to do it."
I'm gonna turn around and like face you guys, look at you guys for a second, kind of eyeing Vita more than Felix, having spotted their uncomfortableness or his uncomfortableness. Say, well, it's a lot of money, especially given the uncertainty and danger we're in right now. We already know something is hunting Olden. I know that from my dreams, and he knows that. And I don't know if the thing could be out for us too. But we're sitting ducks right here. I mean, and with the money to protect us. And as I mentioned, we could be doing real good in this town, based on what he says.
I know, but a library doesn't sound that bad of a thing to build.
Right. The problem is not that they built a library; they took their rightful land.
We should just talk to them
Yeah,
first and see how they are.
I'll see how they are.
The implication being that as long as the farmers seem reasonable, you will help us kill Mother Donipin. I look to Vita.
I guess so. That's what everybody else does. Right now, I don't really know.
Look, we don't even know. We don't know this. We don't know this. These two people. We'll just talk, see how much they don't like.
When he cuts out
Oh.
Sedge.
Is he silent or was he silenced?
Woke took him.
The vein breakers.
His poor
Yes.
veins.
Oh,
then-
you are back.
Oh,
Thanks,
he's back.
guys.
So back.
You're back.
It's not over anymore.
But you said the last thing you said is you don't know these two people.
We don't know
Yeah.
these two people. We don't know how they act. We don't know how they treat people around them. We don't really know
Yeah.
how disruptive they're actually being. Same thing. We don't know the
Alright.
farmers either. 4,000 gold
A
for
lot of money.
here from a bunch of farmers that can't stand up for themselves. 4,000 gold. That's a lot.
Yes, I think perhaps it's not unlikely that the reasons for wanting the farmer gone, for wanting the leaders gone, might be true, but the fact in the story that everyone pulled in to provide a lifetime's amount of gold, I could see that very, very easily not being true. I also love that Alex's video is like still lagging behind. So it's like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm seeing it at like 2 frames a second.
Yeah, but I hear him
We-
fine.
Yeah, I hear it fine, which is what
We-
really matters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we should go talk around. Are we allowed within the limits of the hamlet?
I
I
mean, we
say,
have to wait
in
to
co-
see.
in common to the guy.
Railden has kind of moved to the rocking chair and he's just kind of rocking back and forth. And he says, well, to be honest with you, the storm is still occurring, so you are allowed wherever, but it is safer to stay here. At least I would stay here until Chief Holm gets back to see what news of, or, let me rewind. He says, well, as of right now, the storm is quite brutal out there. You all have not witnessed it yet, but I can tell you that it would probably be best to play along until Chief Holm gets back, see what he says about after discussing it with the others, with the other two, our targets. But, yes, you would be allowed to do whatever you like if you are given permission to. That is the constraint that we are under currently.
Well, that seems advisable. I'll look to you guys.
How strong are these people? Like, you must need our help, but they sound like, I don't know, just a leader of a hamlet?
Yeah, Raelin's nods and says, well, Mrs. Viatal, I don't believe would be that difficult to take out in terms of how strong you're saying. Mother Doniphan, I am not sure. She has some magical capabilities. She speaks often with the seer through visions and meditating, so I am not entirely sure about her capabilities. But the bigger issue of why I have not yet taken them out is one, to ensure, as we do with the Vein Breakers, that they are in fact deserving of dying, but also because they are constantly surrounded by various guards. That is why I joined the guards here, in hopes that I would eventually be with them.
Alright.
Alright.
Yeah.
Do either of you ask any questions of Raeladon?
Now, I will say in Elvish, just kind of speaking out loud, 4,000 gold. This is either one of the biggest, most impressive libraries you could build in a hamlet, or it's on top of something pretty important. I don't know.
I mean, if it's that much, I feel like, why didn't the farmers just band together and use those funds? I guess they are hiring people, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to it than we're hearing.
Yeah, I guess we'll just find out soon on our own.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait for Kevin to be back.
Waiting for Kevin. Dude has the power of the fucking sun outside his window right now. Look at that.
I know.
That's so goddamn bright.
Wow.
It's not that bright
it's
where
dark.
I am.
Yeah.
No,
Dark.
it's dark here.
That must
What's
be a
going on in
lamp.
DC, bro?
Must be a fucking
Second
lamp
sun.
or something.
Ghost of Tsushima sequel announced.
Yeah. Did not play the first game, but yo.
People love that game.
Play like a ghost or something?
It's called Ghost of Yote, I guess so. I don't fucking know.
Remember seeing footage from the first one where there was like a filter that made it like just black and white, like an old samurai movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty bitchin'.
Should go back to black and white.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna install something on my computer that just makes everything black and white. Sure, I can do that with my monitor actually.
Get me out of this jail cell, guy, or this room.
Hey. Am I right? Hey, Chief Holm will be back. Oh.
Uh-oh.
The power just go out? Oh, no,
Just
okay,
have
the light
power
just turned
button.
off.
The
Sorry, I
sun went
realized I'm
out.
not
The
the
sun
safe
went
to
out.
leave my leftovers out anymore.
The
The
sun.
sun went out.
Listen.
Listen.
Alright, we
Listen.
leaving this room now?
We're waiting for
So,
those 2 people to come back.
Once they come
Uh,
back?
yeah,
I guess,
so
yeah.
while you were gone, Kevin, Felix brought up the possibility that in Elvish, that either it's a massive library or it could be being built on something valuable.
Or being used for something. I can only
It'd be
imagine
worth-
why they'd be so insistent to put a library there.
Yeah, and then have someone put 4,000 gold on the line for it.
Someone doesn't want that library being built. And it's either 10 farmers for no reason or one very important person for some reason. Or maybe it's both, and we can profit off of that.
Ryladen,
Yeah.
I say in common.
Yes.
Do traders and merchants come through here often?
Raylan kind of shrugs and says, I mean, every so often. We are not far from the road, so people like to stop by in order to see or for sleep. There's a hotel here, so yes, traders come by, but it is not as often as maybe some other hamlets.
All right, interesting.
So it's only partially built, right? Or not even at all?
Oh, it
Built
is.
yet?
It has already been built.
Yeah.
When I got here, it had just started being. It had just
So
finished.
what do you mean, Felix? That there must be an important library? Why would they be paying to kill her if the library's already built?
Yeah, I don't know, like as revenge.
Perhaps the
It's
library's built on something important, and they want to get
Yeah,
rid of it.
that makes sense.
Or maybe the library is doing something. There's research there of some kind that the citizens or this person's group. Oh gosh, I forgot Lasta. I think you said it was. Or sorry, Rayladon.
Lost
I
is a town,
Rayladon.
yeah.
Yeah. I Rayladon, and maybe it's something that him or his group don't want happening in there. I kind of think it's pretty cut and dry as long as they're not, raising puppies in there. Like, I don't see the problem. But let's do our due diligence before we agree to something like this. I'm just gonna kind of lean back in my chair, eye the entrance, wait for the people to come in.
Yeah, and Rayladin will say, so would you all help, or do you
We'll
want
see.
to investigate more?
We'll just have to see.
I think we need our best chances to make sure we're not getting in over our heads with this.
Yeah, Rayladin raises his hand and says, of course, I understand, but remember, please do not disclose this to anyone, as this is the mission that I am on. All right, then.
The balance.
And I will say that probably about 30 seconds or so past, you all have probably been here for a good 10, 15 minutes. And you hear, and Rayladin's just kind of reading in his chair. And you'll hear once again from the stairway just a big slam as a door quickly opens and slams into the wall. And you see Rayladin jump up, and go to stand over here, and with his spear in hand, as if he hadn't really moved or was kind of just chilling there. And coming down the stairs once again, these big heavy footsteps, you all see Chief Home, and he kind of glances to you all, and then takes off his helmet and gloves, or no, he just takes off his helmet. And then he goes to sit in this chair, not rocking or leaning back. He's kind of just laying down, and he looks to you all. And all of you make perception checks, but make it a blind roll or a blind GM roll.
I'm doing it. I'm just very slow. It's been done.
You all notice, you all rolled very well. You all notice that he, before he still looks crazy tired, right? Like, big bags under his head, kind of bloodshot eyes. But you all notice that he looks a little like peeved at something, like upset, like not not like pissed off, but like, kind of you can see it in his face that he's upset about something. Then he sits down and not rocking at all. He's just kind of sitting there. And he looks over at you, Felix. And once again, he has sweaty hair. I want to emphasize this. He has sweaty hair underneath his thing. And he's, this time actually, he is, instead of covered in snow as he came in, he is just kind of soaking wet. His beard is wet, and his armor is kind of shining with with wetness. And he looks over at you, Felix, and he says, "You said your name was Felix, right?"
Yep.
He kind of leans back and he sighs a little bit, and he says, "Well, Mother Donovan said that the seer had mentioned that a Felix was the one who started the storm. So that at least corroborates corroborates your story, but you all are sure that it was just accidental. What you told me was the truth?"
Yep.
Yes. We did not lie to you. We did not send the storm this way. We stopped these people at the top of Aku's Peak, or whatever it is you call it, from using a ritual that was condensing the storm and sending it towards Redak. That's the action we took.
He's kind of rubbing his head. And he
And
says,
regardless of what your seers say, it's preposterous to suggest that if it was anyone, it was Felix. We all worked together to stop that thing. And our fourth companion who is not here was also there. It was all of us who stopped that person. It wasn't even Felix who got the killing blow.
That's true.
it was Felix that got the killing blow, though.
I thought it was
As a
Alden.
bear,
Alden
he
beat him
tore out
down.
his throat.
Oh my god, that's right.
Felix,
forgot.
as a bear, tore out his throat.
No, that's cool. I would, if it were a lie, I'd still say it. So I'll roll my deception check. Watch me get a 1 again. Okay.
No. Good. But he's kind of rubbing his head, and he says, "Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. If to be honest with you, I talked with them. I told them what you said. They want to speak to you all in person at the hall, so I'll bring you all over there, and you can talk to them then." And he's just kind of like rubbing his head, and he says, "And it's good that you all did it together, but I will say this: if it were up to me, you all would not have even been here in the first place. I'm just trying to help out this hamlet, and I understand it's very jarring for you, but, and he's kind of looking straight ahead, and he kind of pauses for a moment. He does a big sigh, and he says, "Look, I'm going to say something that you all probably aren't going to like, but I'm tired, I don't really care, and I think that you all need to hear it." He looks to the three of you and he says, "When I came down here originally, I understand that I put you in a jail cell, but, from the entire attitude that you all have had about this storm so far, seems a very hands-off, just blissful ignorance about it. Tell me, please." He kind of looks to you all and he says, "Please tell me how many people have died in Lasta in the past 48 hours. Do any of you know?"
No.
I don't even know what Lasta is, man.
You do know what Lasta is.
It is
Before an hour ago.
Also, quick question.
Yeah.
So, see what my stats were since I don't have my armor on. I had my armor like stowed away. Now I can't fucking find it on my character sheet. Does anyone know anyone who knows how Foundry actually works know where the fuck that thing went?
Your armor, your stowed armor.
Yeah.
It should be in your equipment under armor. Maybe you accidentally deleted it instead of stowing it. It should
No.
be equipment. That's the little box inventory. There should be an armor section. You can
I
Did
Oh
you have
yeah, I
special
pressed stowed.
armor?
I pressed stowed. No, it should be in your backpack if you have it. Scroll down to your bottom. I just stowed mine and it appeared on there.
Oh.
Should I take my? Should I consider myself not wearing mine right now? My
Yeah,
leaf leaf.
right now none of you have your armor
Why
on.
does it
Like, just as
just
characters.
says that my torch is in there? What the fuck?
Did you have special armor? Because you can do the
don't
search and get new
remember.
armor.
I have
Remember
something to
if I got
say.
anything.
I have something to say, but Alex, were you gonna do something depending on your armor stitch? Because I don't want to cut you off. Can't hear you. Does your
Or was it
webcam have a
cut
mic?
out?
I think he just tore the webcam off of his the mic.
It
might
does
hear a
not.
clip on mic.
No
We are waiting.
momento.
Por favor.
What is Simply Murder again? Is that
That's a
secret?
book. It's a book
That's-
you bought.
But yeah,
Oh yeah.
Steven, I'm settling on Bell implement for my second implement.
Hello.
Yeah, I
Howdy.
can
There we
hear
go.
you.
Okay. Sorry if the quality's ass.
It's great.
Is it
It's
better?
not, but it's way better than not being able to hear you sometimes.
Yeah.
I would much
Yeah.
rather hear this
Awesome.
consistently than not hear
Cool.
you. So
So what are you gonna do based on your armor?
Yes.
Oh, well, I don't need to do anything based on my armor because I can just turn into an animal, which is
Huh.
what my plan is. But I don't remember if fucking got something for it. I got something for my shield. I reinforced my shield.
We don't even have it right now, right? Doesn't
No.
Not
doesn't
having
matter.
no, but I will.
Can
We can figure out what your
are you
shield.
turning into an animal at this exact moment, or can I?
No. I'm just doing this because I don't want to.
If you want to go animal mode, that's cool. I just don't want to cut you off if you're going animal mode right now.
No, what I'm gonna do is he's gonna ask me questions. Do you know how many people have died in the past 48 hours?
Yes, he does say that.
Oh, I lost my train of thought. I go, no, I don't. I do not know how many people have died in the past 48 hours. And while I am very, very sorry that something terrible is happening to you and your little hamlet, I am not going to tolerate you just deciding to pin this on somebody. I don't care. All right?
And
I
whatever we
am
do,
more than willing to help you all try and figure out how to stop this storm. All right?
I'll say I'm more just I don't know that I don't care. Just me, myself.
I kind of started to say something, but like kind of hush up as like Felix is sort of, I don't know if you would call it yelling or just like half speaking down to these people. And I kind of like pause and linger for a second in like the thickness of the tension before I just like lean forward. I agree. I think the idea that you tried to cast us as some sort of ignorant buffoons who carelessly flung this upon your poor hamlet, it's a ridiculous idea. I mean, look, I don't see you going to the top of Vaku's Peak. I don't see you doing anything because you've stuck us in this jail cell. So
Yeah, would you rather I just we let that man continue making storms, wreaking havoc on swaths of land, killing many people?
And it would have killed everyone in Riddock if they had sent the storms that way. And besides that, we actually did something to try to stop this, right? At the source. And we don't even know if what we did sent it this way. And even if it did, we were acting in our best intent. And that's a big if, by the way. We were acting in our best intent to stop it from hurting other people. If we knew how to magically make the storm disappear and could travel back in time, maybe we would have. I'm in complete agreement with my companion. I'm happy to try and help you in any way, both because we're being compelled because you won't let us leave, and because we actually do care. But the idea that we caused this and that we are somehow ignorant buffoons is patently ridiculous. I'm just gonna kind of lean back in the chair, exasperated.
Yeah. You see, after you all say this, he kind of looks at the three and he says, the answer to my question is 150 so far. Now, based off of your intentions, I understand they were pure. But that storm was not going to hit this. Or this storm was not going to head towards the Zaroon Dunes.
Are these two women coming to see us or not?
They want you to come to them. Do you want to go and see them?
Yes.
Then please.
Yes.
And he just holds his arm out and says, go, it's a straight shot.
Do they have our stuff up there? Or
Yeah, they
Let's
have
go
our
do
stuff
that.
up there.
Let's go.
okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna say in Elvish to Felix, I share your frustration.
I say in Elvish, it happens. As Felix stretches.
I'm gonna kind of pause. As we kind of leave, I'm just gonna kind of look at him behind me. I hope no more die.
They
Before
will.
I leave.
So
I'm
sure.
gonna give him a little wave as I go. Does he do anything of that?
What kind of wave? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think he'll do anything, but he'll just kind of stare at you, so you could take that as you would.
Alright.
I'm gonna kind of mutter in common,
awkward.
just loud enough for him to hear, but I'm not actually talking to him. I'm talking to you guys who walk up the stairs. Good thing we wasted so much time arguing about this.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable, I say in Elvish.
And are you going up as well, Felix?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Then I will say,
Look out behind you, Felix, because I presume you're last. And just say, keep an eye behind you.
Yeah.
you all get to the top of the stairs, and you see that there's just this wooden door. Or then as you start walking up the stairs, you can kind of hear the storm outside. It's wind, and just every maybe second or two, you hear this thundering sound. What do you all do at the door?
It's like a little window on it. Can we see outside?
There's no window. It's just a solid wooden door.
I'm not in front. Hold on.
I probably
Yeah.
wouldn't go. That guy just came down the stairs.
I mean, it's definitely going to be difficult to go out there. I'm also turning on some fantasy thunderstorm ambiance music.
Yep.
And playing Tense Path D&D TTRPG music 1 hour. So you said there's a small window where we can see out.
There
see
is
the
no
storms?
window. No.
Oh, we
just
just
a
hear.
solid
Okay,
door.
got it.
Yep.
I'm gonna walk up, and I just kind of stretch a little bit, and I open the door slightly.
Okay, as soon as it kind of has this latch on it. As soon as you unlatch it, the door flies back and opens, and I imagine may hit you. So you're probably in the way. It's not gonna hurt you, obviously, but it kind of slams into you. What do you do with it?
I kind of dodge out of the way.
Okay.
I shake my head.
Then it hits the wall, and now you all see out in front of you just pitch blackness, but you can see just from the faint light that is coming out, the door has now opened and it is downpouring. You all have seen a downpour before, but this is something else, and the only reason you can maybe see just a little bit in front of you through the rain is just every once in a while there's just a flash of light, every second or so, of this light blue light emanating from the sky. But when I say that there's low visibility, I mean that there's low visibility. It's maybe 15 feet, and it is pitch black outside.
Gotcha.
Let's move
And
quick.
and the wind is kind of at you, and it is, I'll say, pretty chilly. Because I think
Link, link.
Turlon, you have like a tiger thing on, and then
Yep.
Vita and Felix, you just have like a tank top and pants on.
Mhm.
Link arms. I lay out. I put my arm out to Vita. I resume is in the middle between me and Felix.
Yep, I'll do it.
I grab you with a, my arm's kind of bony, but I grab you with a surprising amount of strength. You
Yep.
join the
All
chain,
right.
Felix.
Yeah.
All
I'll
right.
say
I'm going to try to lead the way.
as as you're kind of chaining up, you see that Rayladin is behind you, and is, do you look at him? You can see it in peripheral. Do you go and look at Rayladin?
Yeah.
I don't. I'm in front.
Yeah, Felix. Yeah, you look at him. Then he kind of nods to you, and you understand that he will be following you
Gotcha.
all.
Gotcha.
All right. Then you all, I would like Turlon. I'd like you to make a perception check, but make it private again. The blind GM roll.
Done and dusted.
As soon as you all are, maybe 5, 10, 15 feet out, it is like, what you're walking through. I'll say this first. As you begin walking, you are walking through like slushy snow, basically. Like, the only way I can describe it is imagine if there was like a foot of snow and then it just started pouring on top of it. That's the best way I can put it. Like, it is this weird, like, mush, basically, because it's the snow and rain, like, mixture. And you all start to, trudge through this following Turlon, and you are walking straight ahead, and you get out once you're like 15, 20 feet out, and even if you were to try and glance behind you, Felix, or like, Turlon, as soon as you get like 15, 20 feet out, you can't even see where you came out of. Like, it was just like this kind of this side, like, door thing that was out of a building, and now you just can't see the building anymore. But you continue trudging forward, and I'd like you to make another perception check. Turlon, please.
Before I do, I'm gonna, noticing the difficulty, I'm gonna turn back to Vita and say, "Can your magic make any lights, Vita? It's difficult to see right now."
Let me try.
Let it be known, one of my implements that I could have chosen would have been a light lantern that works in like all light, all conditions.
Dude, that would have been awesome. So I'm gonna cast Illuminate, just
Okay.
just a 30-foot emanation. The thing about this, it lights all non-magical light sources in the area that use fire to provide their light. I got no idea if that's even around us. I'm just gonna cast it just in case there happen to be some like enclosed lanterns or some shit on the street.
Does it just turn them on magically? Because I have a torch that I can hold, so if it magically turns it on and makes it stay on, I could hold my torch.
It doesn't say if it makes them stay on or not. It just says it lights. It's right there. It just lights them all. So I guess it would light your torch, which it would probably immediately go out.
I'll grab it. I'll just hold out a torch and see what it does.
Oh yeah, if you go through that sequence, I'll say you cast that, and for just the briefest of moments, you see that there's just this yellow flame that appears on the end of the torch, and then it quickly gets snuffed out by just the pouring rain.
There's no street lamps
Does it
around
provide
there.
any light? And it's in the tiny instance it's there.
I'll say for that brief instance, based off your perception check, you don't see anything in front of you, but you said it was dead ahead, so you imagine that it can't be too much further.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Sorry.
It is a cantrip, so if you want to keep doing it, it might help. But I will roll my perception check.
Yes, roll a perception check.
Oh, I did blind, not sorry.
That's fine, but
I did private, not blind, GM.
Roll still, and that's much better than what you got before. So I'll say that you based off of the light and maybe some more trying to illuminate it, And Felix, I'll say, as you're walking and you kind of notice behind, you can see just the faint, like, what's the word? Like the faint outline of Rayladin kind of just, maybe 10, 15 feet, like also just trudging through. And you all eventually get to what looks to be the front face of a wooden building with these two kind of large wooden doors in front of you. But again, the visibility is just so low, it's just pitch black out here. So it's like, the only way you kind of see it as you start getting closer is until it's like 5 feet in front of you. And even with that, you can only kind of see just the outline of these doors, just because it appears like there's some light seeping through, like, the middle crack and the cracks above. And, yeah, you get to these doors. What do? Turlon.
Do my damnedest to open it.
Get us in there.
I'm gonna say I might need some help with this.
I open the
Looks like you're
doors.
pulling against the wind, right?
Yeah, so like the wind is just going, and I will say that you try and push, it doesn't work, and you try and pull, and it starts to just come back a little bit. So if you all can kind of together pull on these doors, I'll say that you are able to pull it on it enough that you can open one of them, and then enter the hall. Let me activate the hall. So let me quickly.
Oh,
I'll say, let me reorder some people.
ladies.
Oh, ladies.
Been a while since we've seen some ladies.
Women.
Fucking Vita. As you open up just the left side of this door, you just pry it open as you enter. You As you enter, you see this large hall in front of you, and I'll just describe this before I describe the hall. But there's a guard that comes from the side and rushes in and tries to, as soon as you come in, tries to help, like essentially hold the door open while you all try and come in. And then they're about to close it, but then Rayladin, quickly comes in, and the door shuts behind. And I will say that, for the door shutting, you think it would reduce the sound, and it does in your immediate vicinity. But I'll say that you can still hear the sounds of the storm a little bit in the distance because you all look across this large kind of hall. And you see that there's a large hole in the top right of one of the buildings. And I'll say that describing this hall, it is, kind of has this wooden floor that this is probably like 30-40 foot tall ceilings with kind of just this archway. It's like of a big barn or for something, or like instance like that. And you see in front of you that there is this small little fountain that's there that's actually kind of frozen halfway. Like it has kind of this water spewing frozen in time look to it, but it's just ice because it's just been frozen, because it is quite cold. I'll just say for you all, like especially just in the rain. Maybe not like you're gonna die of hypothermia if you don't get heated up soon, but it's certainly very cold because you're just soaking wet. And you can see that there's a large table past this fountain with a bunch of chairs around it. You see that there's currently nothing on this table, and you see that there are kind of bookshelves, some benches to your left and right, and then of course in the ceiling all the way in the back to kind of like the top right, there's just a huge, maybe 30-40 foot wide just hole in the ceiling, and you see that in the corner of this building is just a huge kind of pile of snow in the corner that is now currently getting rained on. And you all enter into this soaking wet, and you entered, and what I'll say is you see a bunch of guards wearing very similar armor to Rayladin. Just kind of some are sitting on chairs, some are standing up. And
Oh yeah, good question.
Does the rain affect Ori? I'll say, if you just any of you are glancing at Ori, it does not appear to be affected. It seems to just be kind of just
Cool.
chilling there, just still once again just kind of floating by Vita, and you all see by the fountain, just maybe like 15-20 feet in front of you, you see an older woman wearing these kind of yellowish robes, but instead of just yellow cloth, it kind of has this interwoven design. So it's obviously not just cloth. It's kind of this more textured look to it, with some browns, but mostly yellow. You see this older lady. She kind of has like this, this kind of curled, styled hair, this gray hair, and then you see to her left, or to y'all's left, I guess, of her, you see uh, a female, like human, probably like in her mid 40s. She kind of has this kind of darkish, brownish, reddish hair, and she is wearing. Oh, jeez. Olive's tail knocked over her shot glass. She is wearing this kind of leather dress that's very not ornate at all, but you can only but kind of has this design on it of different leather, uh, kind of stitchings into it that makes it look a lot more intricate than if it were just straight leather. And so, beeps. Oh, bips.
Bips. I love bips.
And you can only assume that this is Mrs. Viaton and Mother Donovan. And you all walk in, and they are just kind of looking at you. You can see in Mother Donovan's face, her eyebrows are kind of furrowed. It looks like she's mad, but you all were kind of told that ahead of time that she would probably be upset. You all being here, and then you see Mrs. Viaton, who is kind of just standing there with her arms like this, just letting you all gather yourselves. Do any of you say anything, or what do you do as soon as you've entered, the door is closed, you all are here?
Can we get our clothes? I'm gonna say I'm presumably covered in a tiger pelt, visibly shaking from the cold.
Mm-hmm.
I can only assume that we are all fucking like drenched to the point of like obvious like physical exhaustion. Like
I would like to actually tough it out. I feel like I feel like walking around in storms is my shit.
proud for you. I don't though.
I'm cold.
So I
It's just saying for me. Jeez.
oh I know.
I'll kill you.
I'll kill you.
What the?
Let's
don't
kill
know.
let's kill Python first, then you can kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I say, can I get my clothes, please?
Mrs. Viaton kind of looks to Mother Donovan, and Mother Donovan looks like she's about to like say no or shake her head, and then Mrs. Viaton says, "Leah, go to the chest." And you see one of the guards starts to walk away. They are holding a torch of sorts, and it appears that there is a chest at the end of the room. And Leah opens his up, is kind of starting to ruffle. Do any of you say anything while this is kind of occurring? It appears like Leah was holding a torch, and it looks like a guard to your right is holding a torch, and so that's like the only light. It's just otherwise very dark in here, so there's kind of just this bouncing light all across, except for just maybe, I mean, not even really a lot of light coming from the ceiling. I'll say that, like from the hole in the ceiling. But do you all
I'm
say
just
anything
gonna-
as Laz just kind of going over?
I'm just gonna cast Illuminate again.
Hmm.
Just see there's other light sources, just like torches on the walls or something that I can just light. Maybe not.
Let me.
Doesn't hurt.
I'll also say to
Spell.
Felix, while you're casting the spell, I say to both of you, but I kind of looked at Felix more. No offense. I say game plan in Elvish. Actually, I guess first, any Elvish speakers in the room?
None take.
If you make a perception check for me to look and see if anyone looks Elvish. I will say that you can see that Mrs. Viaton and Mother Donipin appear to be human. The others, it's difficult to tell. They're all wearing helmets. But I will say, Turlon, while you all are looking around, and also the three of you as you all are looking out along, everyone else also looks like maybe not as soaked as you, considering you just walked in, but everyone looks damp and like, kind of has like their skin is kind of glossy, right? Or like, their armor is a little glossy just because it's just covered in water, whether it's from rain or melted snow or something like that. So, but you're unable to see if all of the guards are Elvish. They could not be, but I will mention, just as you're thinking about it, that Chief Holm didn't even know what language you were speaking, so there's a possibility that there's not a lot of elves here. Like that's a thought.
I will
Exactly.
hold my conversation though as I watch Vita cast magic.
So what I like about the spell is I'm assuming it has to be someone's like holding it or that you can see, because what if someone's just got like a torch in their bag or something like that? But I'm going to rule that it's something that you have to see, and I'll say you cast the spell, and you see that the torch that to the right someone's holding kind of illuminates just for a second, like much bigger, like like kind of lights up, but no one really particularly notices, just because it's not like a huge explosion like thing. But you notice that the light on the torch to your right kind of gets brighter a little bit, but nothing else lights.
Sorry, bro. We saw your magic. Unremarkable. Sorry, dude.
That's all I got, guys.
I talked to everyone. No one was impressed by your spell. Sorry. Okay, seriously, I do say it Elvish. Game plan here?
Ask nicely.
Yeah. Against these numbers, yeah. I wait for my cloak.
Yeah, so Leah comes back from this chest and carrying what looks to be three just kind of leather cloaks. It seems to not be like not your clothes, but just leather cloaks as this guard is walking back.
I even have my own fucking jacket. Unreal. Can't have shit in Lasta. Lasta?
Lasta.
Lasta.
It's like pasta with an
Lasta.
L. It's spelled just like that. But
Lasta
they
sauce.
Lasta sauce. Lost in the Lasta sauce. So Leah starts
Yum.
walking up to you, and with her, or you can tell now that they're getting a little closer, that you can tell that it's appears to be like a female man, or female human, female man.
No
you
way.
never know.
New
Never know.
Sumia gender?
You never know.
No way.
We're crumbling here. We're crumbling.
A female human, and as she's walking up, she kind of hands you the cloaks. Do any of you say anything in regards to this, or just hands
Wait,
you
it's like my
these?
clothes, right?
No,
You
it's
say
some
what?
other thing.
Yeah, it's like a cloak thing, not our specific clothes. It's just like
I was kind of hoping for my cloak.
it's not my hat.
Say,
That's what I'm saying.
but thank you. I go to put this cloak on.
Mother Donipin, like you all say this out loud. You're like,
Yeah.
I was hoping for my cloak.
I say that out loud. Yeah, I
say it out loud too.
Then I would say Mother Donipin would say, "You all aren't going to get your items until you are either punished or you help us sufficiently."
Oh my god.
All
Okay.
right. I'm casting Fashionista. Fine. Just put
Okay.
my clothes into ostentatious attire, high-end fashion.
Tell me you didn't use a spell slot for that, Dylan.
It's too cold.
Oh my god, you used a spell slot for that. Oh my
Don't worry
god.
about that,
Hell
man.
yeah, dude.
Don't worry
That
about that.
hey no, that makes the title pan out.
Hell yeah.
I
It's
like
too
look
cold.
at you. I look at you with
Alright.
maybe a touch of jealousy as I shrivel into my
Sorry, I can't take
my
these
leather
off. They're
coat.
not real. Sorry. I don't know
Yes,
what that would look like, but
I suppose that might be a good place to start. I'm not really sure we're on the same page about this whole punishment thing.
What's the highest point in the hamlet? I will
a
say in
lot,
character.
a lot of questions here.
Yeah.
It's the highest point in the hamlet.
I'm not working with them. I'm going to do we're going to do our own. I want to do our own separate thing, and then they stop being on our ass.
They
I want to
say,
talk to these people.
Mrs. Viaton looks to you and says, "No, I don't believe that we are on the same page, but what does the highest point have to do with anything?"
You just answer the question.
Mother Donovan says, "We will not answer any of your questions.
Right.
We will not answer your questions if you're going to be so rude to us."
Well, surely you don't believe we're the ones who started the rudeness, right? I mean, you locked us up. You won't give us our own clothes.
Guys, let's give them a chance. They're very nice.
I'm gonna kind of like glare at you. Your friend in the other room wants to blame us for everything bad that's happened to this hamlet, as if we don't have genuine, honest sympathy for what's going on. I don't wish to be rude, but the idea that somehow we have started the rudeness, preposterous.
Oh.
You all were locked up, you say.
I want to say in Elvish real quick. We gotta play their game. We're not gonna convince them.
I'm gonna say yes, we have to play their game, but that doesn't mean I like pause and just like breathe in. That doesn't mean letting them plainly lie, and I kind of start yelling back at you about what has happened.
We're not gonna change their minds. They think what they think. We just need to get what we need and leave.
Yeah.
I put my head in my hands. Felix, what do I do? Do I just shut the fuck up here?
Yes.
I just kind of bite my tongue a little bit.
Give them a hearty clap on the shoulder that nearly bowls them over. And I go, thank you. No offense.
I'm gonna say in Elvish, don't fuck this up.
Never have.
Mother Donovan says, "You all said you are locked up?"
Yes.
Well, from the way I understood it, one of you, I'm assuming whoever is Pristel, was able to clone themselves outside of the room, and the other one of you, Felix, who she will say with like this
Venom.
like this kind of venom and Felix, exactly, venom's a perfect word for it. She's like, with Felix was made some intimidating that's the word, intimidating remarks about how what was it, whether they would let us out, or you were going to get out, or you were going to break out. So I'd imagine that you all were not truly locked in that cage, but you all could have gotten out if you needed to. You all seem powerful enough, yes?
We're also kidnapped. We were not supposed to be brought here. Turns out that it seems like we're not really allowed to leave without your permission. And had our stuff stolen from us. So I don't know what you know about us or what the chief has told you. Any bad things that have happened here, I motion to the everything, is because instead of letting thousands and thousands die, we were minutes too late, and now instead the storm is here. So We are genuinely sorry. I wanted to stop this storm from even being formed, not have it be half born and then blown over here. But if we're gonna help you, which again I'd love to do, can only really facilitate that if there is some level of mutual respect that I don't really see here. I'd be more than happy to extend my hand first, but I will be completely honest. I'm unsure if you'd be willing to reach your hand out and do the same.
I'm
Mother.
nodding the whole time with the energy of like at this point, like a kid who is watching their sibling get like ratted out after tattling on them. I'm just like, I like completely lost my cool at this point, and I'm clearly just like trying to like hold it in.
Mm-hmm.
I
I'll
want
say.
you to know that I am going to do something about this storm, this aberrant storm, no matter what. What's your options are how easy you make that for us to solve. Yeah, how easy do you actually want this to be?
Mother Donipin.
I nod at you, like collecting myself just for a second. I like kind of look at you and I like give you like a hearty nod.
I'll like look over at you and look back.
Mother Donipin will say, "You can stop this storm," is what you're saying.
That's not what I said.
You said you will stop this storm regardless of whether we want, regardless of what we decide or not.
Yes, I need to figure out how to do that first.
So you're not sure if you are capable of doing it?
Are you? I say, almost cutting her off at the end. But we are the only people who have made any tangible change. And I like kind of like trying to like cut myself off. I look back at Felix, and I say in Elvish, we are the only ones who have made tangible change to this storm. We tried to stop it.
I'll nod. I'll say, they're right.
Mother Donipin will say, "This storm that you all speak of, Visir says was not headed towards us. It was headed towards the Tilgi Forest.
Yes,
and through your actions, yes, it is now here?
Yes.
Then I would say that that Visir is correct in saying that you caused this storm to be here."
Okay.
Kind of. Maybe.
If you are able to stop the storm, why did you not do it when you are on top of Mount Visir?
With this before? Have you dealt with this before? Do you know anything about anything that's happening? Please be honest with me. No. But nature and these nature spirits solving problems, things that upset the balance, are what I handle. All right? So I hope you'll excuse me. Don't interrupt me. I hope you'll excuse me if I have never experienced a 8-foot tall glowing blue man synthesizing liquid crystal from mountaintop snow to turn himself into a giant, making terrible storms sent to kill thousands to appease a god that I don't think cares about him. That's new for me. Now, I don't know about you and your, I'm sure, endless life experience, but I'm really just kind of figuring out as I go along. And if you have anything better, any more information, we're well past the time that you should have shared that. All right?
My gesturing nodding is happening in character. Not
I'm
as
smiling.
as I am, but I'm like nodding.
Yeah, I'm pointing. I'm like, yeah.
Pumping them up just a teeny bit.
Mrs. Viaton will now speak up, and she will say, "Plasta is completely flat, so there is no highest point.
And
You may.
buildings.
She points upwards. She
Oh,
says,
good to know. Makes it
"This
easy.
is the highest point. Please try
Great
and stop
information.
the storm if you can."
That was the goal. Now, hold on. Let me in real life check to see. I don't remember if Pathfinder does this. Do I need a spell focus to cast my shit?
Depends on the type of spellcasting you have.
Or do I just need my hands to be open for the somatic components?
It's the same as D&D. If there's a material part of the spell.
Well, like a cost. I meant like, you know how it's like a wizard has to hold his crystal.
I don't believe you have to.
Okay,
I don't
cool,
think you
great.
have to, no.
Then I haven't really lost anything aside from our potion and my money.
Can you remind me what Vasir is the god of again?
I think the sands.
What are you, the god of again? Yes, it's of the sands.
Okay.
It's the name of it.
Do I have time to say a little ditty while you're looking through your bag, or is this?
Oh, I own nothing. I own like a shield, a knife.
I guess I meant like while you're like
Oh, in game. Yeah.
Or are you in game moments away from casting a spell?
No, I just wanted to check to see if I actually needed anything that was taken from me. The answer is no.
Okay.
I can operate just fine. But you, however, can.
Yeah, I'm gonna look to you and just kind of like look back at them and just say, for transparency's sake, what we know is this. Using the burst in Riddock, we were sent to the top of the mountain by order of the Reaver Council to try and stop the storm, which was imminently approaching the Tilki forests and eventually Riddock. We found there. Did we ever learn his name? Or just is he just the freak? Just the freak? The
blue
guy. Blue fuck. I thought
Jujan.
for some reason I thought Jujan was the god. My bad. And this figure, Jujan, had commandeered Vaku's home, fortress, castle, and used it to harness the energy of the storm to concentrate it. And as a result, it was making the storm worse. We killed him and freed the many people that he had mind controlled. And then the storm changed course.
Oh, Baku sent them home. Sorry, go on.
One or the other, but it's neither's relevant to our story. But I think you might be right. And I will just look at him and say, no one can know what direction the storm was going to take before this Jujan tried to harness the magic to do something about it. All we know is that we saw it, we were there, we stopped him from doing what he was doing, and we saw a lot of what he was doing to control the storm. That is what we know. And we hope, and I look to Felix and Vita, to do something with that information to stop the storm. That is what we know. And I need to use a bathroom, so I'm gonna go do that.
Okay.
Rowan just starts pissing on the floor. That's not funny. It's not. That's not a funny joke at all. Don't laugh at that.
Where is the latrine, please?
Please. I really need to.
So, is this fully a desert town, or is it on the edge of the desert?
You are asking that?
I'm not in real life. I'm asking you, Stephen, to relate this. Were we told that?
You are 99% sure that you are just in the middle of like the desert. Like you are not like maybe like miles away from like the forest, but you're not like near the forest in that way.
Farmers. Okay. Maybe they have something weird going on. I don't know.
Can I ask? I guess we'll just wait for Kevin. But to give you time to think about it, I'll ask, who's your strongest magic person here? What have you tried to do so far to stop this storm? I'm assuming they've tried something.
Yeah, Mrs. Viaton kind of looks over to Mother Donipin, and she says, well, that would be me, and I have spoken with, meditated and spoken with Vasir herself, and she has tried to redirect the storm as much as she could away from Lasta. But unfortunately, this storm is not natural. And she has not been able to do much in that way, but we do not possess any magic powerful enough to try and stave off this storm, as it is covering almost all of the Zaroon Dunes.
Let's see here.
By the way, it's fucking huge. Like, that's like if she said, like,
The Sahara is suffering one single weather event.
yes, like, yeah.
The continent-spanning desert.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
being
I mean,
real. I don't know what we're supposed to do.
it's like, yeah, like the Midwest or something like that. It's what
Yeah.
it
This
kind
is
of,
different.
yeah. Like, you know, Felix, I don't know what you got in your mind. You can fucking try for it.
I just
But-
kind of want to meditate and ask
That's
the
so
spirits.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kind of want to. Do I have? Hold on. Do I have any spells that could actually facilitate this? 1 second, because I want to try to contact.
I will say, you do have your medallion on you,
Right.
what you were told by oh god, I forgot his name, but you know, like the Juton guy, that you could it says it in the description. You can like focus on it. Yeah, the Vohan medallion.
Gotcha.
You will be helped by Juton herself, but no one's ever done it.
I don't know what the fuck we're supposed to do. There's not like a dude making this time, and it's so big. Even if we took out the entire sky above this town and made it not rain, that would be just such a small percentage of the whole storm.
Make them happy though.
Yeah, I feel like the storm would just recirculate, you know? Because it's all one big vortex of air,
I'm back.
rain,
Yeah.
and shit.
So essentially, while you were gone, Vita asked.
We're fucked.
Vita asked what they we're fucked. Vita asked what they have tried to try and stop the storm, and or like who's the strongest among them, and you know, magic users, and tried to stop the storm. And Mother Donovan said that it would be her, and she tried. She has meditated and spoken with Visir, and Visir is trying everything she can to try and redirect the storm, but it's covering almost all of the Zaroon Dunes, so she's trying to do that everywhere. So
It's way too big.
and it's also it's an unnatural storm is the key. That's more key, is that this is an unnatural storm, and so it's harder to influence.
No kidding.
No fucking kidding.
Ain't that the truth? We go until 9:20 today to fight back the late start.
I can go till whenever, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with
Doesn't
that.
matter.
Cool.
I'm trying to find if there's a fucking spell that lets me talk to nature spirits, so I can just kind of guarantee that happening. Ooh, wait a minute, this is a cool spell. Should prepare that too.
Just druid things.
Just druid things.
Ooh.
Why is this an uncommon spell? What does that mean if the spell is uncommon? Do I have to ask for it?
Yes. You
Yeah,
have to have
I'd
a
say so, in general.
justification.
You have to have the what?
You have to have, like, a
Justification.
Okay, cool.
Not just any loser can have this spell, okay?
Uh-huh. Speak with animals is good. That's a good one. Okay, sorry, you guys can go on. I don't think.
I was kind of out of the loop of the conversation, so.
I think they're kind of just waiting for you, Felix, to try and like stop the storm, essentially.
Oh my god, it's like right in front of them. Sure, whatever. Okay. You have to speak with spirits.
Yeah, actually, how should I stop this storm? Let me consult with
Nature
the
spirit.
the
Commune with nature.
Let me ask.
Ritual level 6. Okay, not something I have. Not that. All right, so we're gonna do it the rough way, without magic facilitating it, by asking really nicely. What does this building look like outside? What is it shaped like?
Yeah, from what it looks like inside, it looks like kind of like, a normal like 9-10 feet of straight wall, and then it kind of curves over towards, it's like a half sphere, right? Up to like 40 feet into the air.
Okay. And then okay. If they're just waiting on me, I'll turn to the other two and be like, I'm gonna climb on the roof. And I'll be back eventually. You should you should try to convince them. Vita, you should try and convince them to give you some of your stuff back, because I know Turlon needs their code, because that's all their stuff, to actually like do things. I don't actually know if you need any of your items to cast spells, but
Nope.
great. Okay, well, I will be right back then. I want to climb through the hole to get on top of the roof.
Okay. I will say make an acrobatics check. Everybody, I will say, just as you're kind of walking up, people, the vibe that you all are getting is everyone is like, it's weirdly quiet, like you would expect maybe more of a fight back, but all these people look tired, and they look like, you know, like they kind of look at you and you can see there's a little bit of hope in their eyes, like, holy shit, what if he does something, right? But it mostly looks like, that's just a hint. It mostly looks like, fucking what's happening right now? This has been awful, So like you go up and make an acrobatics check for me.
Okay. Instead, I am going to, because they're not going to see me up there. I'm gonna. I'll fail at getting up, and I'll go. 1 second. Gonna wild shape into a gorilla again. Who has climbing?
Okay.
1 second.
Normal behavior. Normal
1 second.
behavior.
I do the little. I cast the spell, and then I like am covered in mud that's like glowing mud, and then it just kind of explodes off me and immediately evaporates. Then I'm just a gorilla. And then with a climb speed, I don't need to make a check. I can just move, and I just climb out until I'm on the roof.
Okay, yeah, I'll say as soon as you are on the roof, it is windy. You feel you are wet. You are now a wet gorilla.
A white gorilla.
It's not fun, I'll say that. But
is any flat or flat enough surface where I can like lay down?
yes, yeah, like as soon as you get to the center of the roof, it is like, it's kind of curved, so it's the top of it. But
Okay.
I will say for Vita and Turlon, you you see Mother Donovan look around and just feel like shake her head and just feel like, holy shit, like what the fuck? Just reacting to just a gorilla.
They really didn't know what she was doing.
Shapeshifter things.
But you are now on the roof as a gorilla.
Okay, that was my whole point. I said they're not gonna see me because I want to take a moment to refocus so I get that focus point back.
Okay. And how long is that? It's like 10 minutes?
10 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm fine to do that in the rain, because what I'm also going to do is try to just like lay on my back, human form.
Okay.
And then once I'm going to refocus as like the first step, and then once I feel focused and there, I want to try to reach out to the nature that was already here. Essentially, I am gonna, let's like a metaphor. I'm going to try to ask the immune system that's already in place, what it needs to stop this weird thing. You know what I mean?
Druids, man. Let's
Just
go.
the
Let's
natural
go.
forces that are
Yeah, like
trying to oppose this storm.
I have to assume what nature spirits already are here don't want the storm either, and since the storm is fucking with them and their stuff, they would have a better idea how to deal with it. So I would like to try to implore and treat them to give me a hand.
I'll say, since you spent 10 minutes refocusing, we'll do that, but first I want to see Vita and Turlon, are you all doing anything for, Felix, you see him turn into a gorilla, starts climbing up, fucking stow up the walls, just like, getting up.
I don't even make any noise. I just turn into a gorilla and then I just swing up. I just like silent. I just kind of climb and just swing up. No noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just does
some
that.
of the guards are
Okay,
like, what the fuck? Some of them
No,
are kind of
nothing much I can do. I'll just hope this gorilla can do it.
This gorilla, he can really do it.
He can do it.
I will say we would be a little bit more useful if we have our stuff. We can maybe be able to provide Felix with some help. I suppose there's still Jujon's decapitated head in my inventory. I would presume they confiscated that too and didn't think anything of it.
Oh,
regular behavior.
I mean, Rayladin did say that some of the stuff they found made him wretch, so that could have been included in that.
Hey.
I mean, ironically, maybe having his head could provide us some insight.
True.
That is true.
I don't say that with high confidence, but it could be.
Maybe.
So what do you say out loud? Do you say, I want, can I have some stuff we could help?
Yeah, I'd already said we could maybe be a little more helpful to Felix if we also had our stuff back.
Mother Donovan says, and in what way would you help?
Or at least my esoterica. I have a whole set of various, well, you might call them trinkets, in my jacket. None of them inherently harmful on their own, but together they allow me to use some forms of basic magic.
They say, what from there would you want?
Well, ideally all of it. But if you just choose my hero card deck and perhaps just a couple things that you think are less unpleasant to hold, that could help.
Less unpleasant to hold?
Well, I'm sure you've looked through my stuff already.
Mrs. Viaton says, yes, there is a lot of gross things. What specifically? We can get the cards, yes, but what else?
It really doesn't matter. I'm just gonna look at them like what I'm saying is obvious.
Mrs. Viaton.
Just a collection of things, and between 5 and 10 at least. It doesn't matter what.
Mrs. Viaton
I can give you 10 if it makes you feel better, but it doesn't really matter.
Mrs. Viaton looks over at Leah again and says, please go and get their stuff. And Leah kind of goes out the front door, once again pushing out, and door shuts behind. And I'll say like a minute or two later, Leah, completely soaked, comes back and just in kind of a bag of stuff just hands you just some of the jars of shit that you have, and of course the tarot deck, but just the most random esoterica that you have, I'm sure. It seems as though, based off where you know all your pockets are, it seems like she just grabbed a whole bunch of stuff that was right next to each other.
It's okay. I that's fine. I presume she didn't bring me because I didn't ask for it. I presume she doesn't. Oh wait, shit. I think we could also ask. We might want to refer to that elven Alcation Rosetta Stone. Maybe we can mention that all of the shit they were doing was an Alcation. That might help. As she gives me my stuff, I'm gonna remember. You don't need to go back for it, but you probably saw some odd things in there, like a well, the stone tablets, I believe it was, with or no, sorry, it was actually a page. A page
There's
of
just two
text. Did you
pieces
see
of
any
paper.
pages? See any paper?
You saying this to Leah?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I just grabbed some things out of the pocket, so there's some paper.
That's all right. I'm gonna step forward up to the two in charge. Do either of you know anything about the Alcatian language?
I'll say Mrs. Viaton doesn't react, but you see Mother Donovan furrows her eyes and says, "Why do you ask?"
The people controlling the weather. I'm also like, as we're having this conversation, I'm kind of like occasionally looking up to Felix, check in to see if he's
I
authority
don't
to
think
do
you can
something.
see me.
Oh, right. I guess you went
You
over.
can't
Yeah,
see
no.
him, but just checking to
I'll
see
just
if he's coming back.
look to see you back. Yeah.
Yeah.
We found pages and pages of writing in Alcation. Seeing some of my esoterica reminded me of some of the other things I had on my person. We had a few pages of notes that we took from that place. They had hundreds, and I looked to Vita. I mean, maybe even thousands, right, of pages of Alcation text.
Yeah.
We it was very difficult, and we none of us speak the language, but it seems like they were deciphering it in some way. I have what could appear to be a very basic page that had some Alcation and some deciphered Alcation. We don't know much about this language, but assuredly it's related.
She says, "Well, that would explain what Vasir was saying about how it's an unnatural storm. They must be pulling from magic that is not from the deities."
What does that mean?
You say that?
Yeah.
She says, "What it means is that whoever this 8-foot tall giant that you all speak of was using magic that was even before the gods were here in Sumia. I know not much of it, but I know that much of the texts that talk about that time are written in a language called Alcatian."
I just kind of thought they were always here.
If you
Mother
don't
Donovan
mind,
says, "It has always been better since they've been here, I'd imagine."
Is it reasonable to think that, Stephen, that what I do has some relation to this ancient magic?
Yes. That is what has been insinuated to you.
I'm gonna kind of like furrow my brow a bit and like look at her. Madam, oh my gosh, I'm horrible with the names.
Mother Donovan, it's fine.
Mother Donovan,
Mother.
thank you. Mommy Dommy.
You could say that.
I'm gonna look at her and say, I pull my tarot cards. Can I do a tarot card reading on you? I say like very seriously.
Yeah, she kind of squints her eyes and she says, "Right now, is this really the time for it?"
I kind of like pause. Well, sometimes the cards reveal useful things. I heard you have a soothsayer, yes, here? That she said that Felix was the one who caused this. You said she read it in the Divines and whatnot, something of that nature.
She says, "I was the one who said that, and it was because it was told to me by Vasir herself."
Well, you see, I use similar divinations, but well, I don't know truthfully where the power comes from, but I think it comes from the cards. It's been proven correct, but no god speaks to me when I divine these things. And it is a hunch that the cards might provide something here.
She kind of breathes in and looks at Mrs. Viaton, and she says, Mrs. Viaton kind of nods and says, "Go ahead, Mother, it's okay." And Mother Donovan looks at you and says, "Sure, give me a reading."
Okay, I'm gonna check up on how to do tarot card readings while Felix monkey posts.
Yeah, let's do Felix monkey posting. So you are trying
Not
to
a gorilla
reach...
anymore. Must make that known. I am lying in my human form on my back, staring up at the sky.
So
Yeah,
are you casting any kind of spell and or using the medallion in any way, or is it just trying to really just focus and meditate?
I am. The forest focus is just a one-time thing, right? Medallion.
It's never been done before, but that is what you would assume about it.
Okay, I don't want to jump immediately to that. So I am just going to do it myself without using the medallion. And I don't have any spells that can contact nature.
Okay. Then please give me a nature check. Just a straight nature check. And I'll say do it with misfortune. Because you are in a desert. You are not in your element in this sense. You are being pelted with rain. It's a little difficult. But you're trying to focus.
How do I modifier?
I think if you shift click it, maybe just click it.
Okay, so that's 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll roll the second. I'm going to hero point the second one. So it's 29 and even worse, 16.
Worse. Unfortunate.
Cool. Okay.
It goes.
I will say that as you, Felix, you are just being pelted with rain, and I will say that it is difficult to focus, not only just because you're being pelted with rain and you're in a place that you're unfamiliar with, like you're only used to, nature within forests, even if you have spent a little bit of time every once in a while going to the desert. But I will say another thing that is distracting you in this moment is, being blamed, essentially, like, you got pretty, pissed off at like all these people fucking like blaming you specifically, especially for the storm and the storm coming here, when in reality you all were, just fucking, you're trying to protect your forest, and you did that, So I think those kind of thoughts keep creeping into your mind, but I'll say that you're not able to feel any spirits around you as you lay here.
Okay. Then, if that is the case, okay. All right, the only other stuff I'd have to do would take time, since it's 9:20.
Do you want to just kind of think on it?
Well, my next
session,
my next idea is to well, there's 2 things I would like to do. I want to go to the library that was apparently built. Genuinely, just because it could be helpful, and also just because I want to see what the fuck is its deal. And I have this will require me resting, so I can change my spells and my daily preparations, but I can prepare speak with animals. I would want to try to find some local animals and see what it is that they know.
Gotcha.
Since I would say they are more in tune with the natural world than
I want
people
to
are.
ask Mother Donovan before we leave if Vasir told her to build the library, and if so, why here?
So you just, like, what? How do you phrase it? You just say,
I say, like, I know that there's a library that you had built here. Did Vasir tell you to do that? Seems like everything you do follows the guidance of Vasir. Why did you do that here?
I will say Mother Doniphan and Mrs. Viaton both squint their eyes or furrow their eyes and they look at you confused, genuine confusion. They're say
Or have plans, whatever way to phrase it makes sense. I know it's not built yet, but yeah.
Mother Doniphan says, "What? How do you know of this library, and what do you mean? Did I build it because of Visir? We do have a library here, yes, but we built it to have a library. Why are you asking this question?"
Well, I'm just thinking about places that we can go find more information. Just, just in case our friend up there, I have faith, but, doesn't stop the storm over the entire desert. I mean, we're going to need some sort of next step. I didn't know if that was Vasir guided knowledge or just a normal library.
The library is full of farmers' almanacs.
Mother Donovan is about to speak up, and Mrs. Viaton holds out her hand and she says, "Mother, please." She looks to you, Vita, and she says, "I know all of the books that are in that library. None of them are magic related. They were purely for the entertainment of everyone here in Lasta. Again, why? How do you
So
know
just be
about
clear,
this
for
library?"
Dylan, this is the same library that hasn't been built yet that we were told about.
We knew the library was built.
The library was built.
It was
you gotta
built. It
cover
was
your ass.
finished.
You gotta cover your ass about the library.
I did. I just said what?
Oh, actually, I'm here to
anything
ready
weird.
for the tarot card deck, right?
Yeah, you got your tarot
I would say
shit.
one of the guards offhandedly mentioned it. I will say, just kind of casually as I start shuffling.
Yeah, it's not weird to assume there's a library here.
Okay, Doug. I'm gonna look at them and say, yeah. I mean, we've looked into libraries before to try to find information. And I'm just gonna
question
keep
me.
shoveling the deck.
I'll do some rolls.
Stop!
Mrs. Viaton will say, "I do not think it will be useful to visit the library for this, but and she's really kind of at a loss for words because she doesn't know why. It seems she's confused at you bringing up the library, and then
Wait, you never seen a library before?
Mother
Not my problem.
Some libraries have good books in them. All right. God damn.
Mother Doniphan says, "We will see if Felix is able to stop this storm before we try and visit any libraries or anything."
Okay.
I'll just keep shuffling my hero card deck.
Just in case he doesn't, though. Make sure you have some thoughts.
Right, Felix? Right, Vita?
All right. Yep.
I need to read fully how a hero ritual actually works before I can form one. So.
Okay. Then we are. I think we should end the session there. We'll pick up with both a hero card reading and also maybe we'll see what happens once the cards are read.
You affect the storm.
We'll see what happens, but and I will say as a teaser is the hero card reading will shine some light into the future. I'll say that. Very weirdly cryptic, but I'll say that. Yeah, who the fuck knows what that means?
Right.
But
Steven does.